In this case, a lady known as Madame de Falbe was a tenant for life at Luton Hoo estate, just north of London. A tenant for life was not a tenant as we understand the word these days. Instead, it's most likely a previous holder of the estate had died and in their will had provided the estate to Madame de Falbe for her use for her life. When she died then, she herself could not will the estate to anyone else. Instead, it went to the remainderman, that is, the person who was entitled under the original will. During her life tenancy, Madame de Falbe installed a number of ornate and expensive tapestries in the house. A figure of £7,000 is mentioned in the case, the equivalent of nearly 2 million Australian dollars today. They were fixed to the wall by being attached to wooden frames which themselves had been nailed to the wall. When she died, the remainderman was still a child, and his legal representatives argued that the tapestries had been attached to the house, had become fixtures, and were now part of the house and should go to him. Madame de Falbe's executor argued that there was never any intention on her part to make the tapestries part of the house, and they could be removed. The court unanimously found that the tapestries were chattels and not fixtures. The Lord Chancellor, Earl Halsbury, said, "It appears to me that the thing is so easily susceptible of being removed, and has in fact been removed, without any damage or material injury to the structure of the wall, that, to my mind, it was never intended to form part of the structure of this house. It never was intended to remain a part of the house. The contrary is evident from the very nature of the attachment, the extent and degree of which was as slight as the nature of the thing attached would admit of." Really, the most significant thing about this case is that it reminds us that when distinguishing between chattels and fixtures, each individual situation must be dealt with on its own unique facts. A mere physical connection between the object and the land can be important, but it is not determinative. One must consider the nature of that connection and the intention with which the connection was made.